Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we explore the darkest reaches of outer space, and Peter Dinklage gets his place in the rundown.
Plus, we catch up with Dennis Leary and the rest of the stars of the new series, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll.
What if somebody shot you?
Who'd want to shoot me?
And then Scott can't wait for this, the review of Panasonic's new G7 camera. Also coming up, we hit the ice with a look at the new and returning features in NHL 16. Ben and Jose track down Timbo, the badass elephant, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Marissa Roberto, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. We're about to explore the deep, dark void, but we've got something helping us along the way. It's called the Rundown. You won't have to wait much longer to jump back into StarCraft 2. Blizzard has confirmed that the game's latest expansion, Legacy of the Void, will arrive before the end of the year. We still don't have a precise release date, but this is sure to come as a relief to fans, given that Blizzard is notorious for delaying their projects. The last StarCraft 2 expansion, Heart of the Swarm, was released in 2013. Legacy of the Void will give players a new campaign focusing on the Protoss aliens, and there will be loads of new units and modes. We'll have more on the expansion in the coming months.
Today, we will reclaim our homeworld!
It looks like Tyrion Lannister has been banished from the universe of Destiny. Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage, who voiced the AI companion Ghost in Destiny, is being replaced by veteran video game voice actor Nolan North. North was hired to take over the role in the upcoming Destiny expansion, The Taken King, and developer Bungie liked his performance so much, they're going back and replacing all of Dinklage's lines from the original game. Bungie says they're doing this because they want the character to have a consistent voice across the entire Destiny experience and not be voiced by two different actors. Dinklage received some criticism for his performance in the game, so that may have had something to do with the decision. Expect his lines to be replaced around the same time The Taken King comes out in September.
That wizard came from the moon.
That's it for the rundown. Now look who it is to join me. It is Victor Lucas. I really like that shirt on you, by the way. It's a very lovely color.
Thank you.
Rocking the Canadian look, of course, as he does. We need to talk about Peter Dinklage.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is crazy. I feel like this is crazy, although I'm not really surprised because Nolan North is totally badass.
Well, and let's be honest, the Dinklage stuff was terrible. This was stuff that we were all making fun of. He is a very busy actor, and he's a phenomenal actor. He's always fun to watch. He's terrific on Game of Thrones. But that wasn't his best work in Destiny, and I think that there was a lot to be able to ridicule there. And Nolan North is a consummate professional. He can do a million voices. Yeah. He's always fun to listen to, and it makes me want to play through all of the original Destiny again to hear Nolan North stuff. Yeah.
Just to hear his voice. I mean, he does have that voice that I absolutely adore.
Bravo, Nolan North.
Yeah, love you, buddy. We have to move on now to StarCraft 2. This is not a game for me, but you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it, but I have to be honest. I mean, they're stretching out these expansions and these extensions of StarCraft 2 over so many months that I can't remember the last time I loaded it up. You know, I was excited when The Heart of the Swarm launched, and I was like, okay, I'll play this for a little while longer. And then this will, you know, the new Protoss campaign and getting into this new title, I think will be interesting to jump back into StarCraft 2, and it will encourage me to.
But you would just rather play Batman for the third time.
I'll play Batman for the third time, yeah absolutely. What are you saying?
So StarCraft 2 fans are going to be excited about this.
And I also
waiting for this.
Yeah, totally. And Blizzard understands that, and I love that they're, you know, so in tune with how much work they have to do to build something that won't disappoint their fans. They never want to disappoint their fans, so they take the time that they need. They have the resources to be able to do that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then the fans generally end up being very satisfied with the finished product. Look at the way that Diablo 3 was ported and transported into all of these different formats, and it was phenomenal every single time. So
you're right.
I'm excited to jump back in, but I have certainly forgotten a lot about StarCraft 2.
All right, I'm sure a lot of people have. Let's move it right along now, because Dennis Leary has a new show called Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, and I got a chance to interview the cast.
Somebody somewhere gonna know my name. I'm gonna hit this city tonight where it lives and breathes.
Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll comes from this man's mind right here, so I need to know how long, what it looks like inside, number one.
Oh my God.
But how long?
We don't want to go in there. You know what's in my head? Ideas for Sex and Drug and Rock and Roll. Millions of statistics about football, baseball, hockey, basketball, anything sports-wise. a ton of information about JFK's assassination, World War II, the Vietnam War. I'm basically an idiot who got lucky, and I have a television show that stars this girl as my daughter, and hopefully it's going to work, and I'm just going to ride her coattails for the next 5 years on FX.
I hear that you rock out and you have an amazing voice live.
She does.
I like to sing, I do. I've been singing a long time. And that's Johnny C. And, you know, it's insane that I get to do a show now where it's all original rock music, great rock music that you either wrote yourself or co-wrote with your buddies, great musicians, and it's a dream.
The audience will be the judge of that. She's my daughter who comes to New York with a bunch of money and a desire to go in the recording studio, and that's why I get the band back together. Even though we all hate each other, we decide, well, this young chick's going to pay us. So we get back into this room with her, and she, of course, we find out is very talented and wants to use this band of experienced musicians. And it's clear that she's got all it takes to really become famous, which is a nightmare for me because I'm her father, but I also have spent my entire life wishing I was famous, and there's not a chance I'm going to be. So it's a story about family, a really dysfunctional family, and fame is really what the show's about.
You know what's funny, as you were saying that, I never even told you this. This was my whole plan when I was trying to write an album. I was with the label trying to write an album. I presented the idea to them because I wanted to make authentic rock music, and they were sending me to just people with computers, tracks. I said, why don't we find a group of washed up but really talented rock stars, pay them, and let them write music for me, and let's play. And I swear to God, I can't believe this is so weird.
It's a really smart move.
It's a totally smart move. They're like, well, then who?
The truth of the matter is that if you go through pop music, and it'll always be that way, generally speaking, with a lot of pop stars, male and female, that haven't discovered that they can completely write on their own, it is a bunch of really experienced session guys, producers, and songwriters that get into a room or a studio with them. So that's basically what she's out for, but what she didn't bargain for was how messed up her dad is, and how
we all get way more invested than I think we ever imagined we were going to be.
And it's very intricate set of old relationships that we all slept with each other and each other's girlfriends and stuff back in the old days. It's so ugly, and at the same time, we actually do all love each other, but we also resent each other. I come from an Irish family, and that's our bread and butter. Yelling, screaming, blaming, you know.
The comedy will ensue. Thank you so much.
I love how you do. You step on camera.
I know. Do you like this?
And then you step over there. That's awesome.
Little behind-the-scenes info for you. Victor Lucas totally sidled up on that interview of mine just so he could shake Dennis Leary's hand.
I'm a huge fan of that guy. Rescue Me was a phenomenal show. I can't wait to watch this one. But stick around when we come back. We're reviewing a camera. It's called the Lumix G7. Welcome back to the Electric Playground. Something that we are doing more and more of these days on this show is a little bit of dancing, hand dancing. No, we are reviewing cameras.
That's right. One of the names in camera technology that has always fascinated me, it's Lumix, L-U-M-I-X. I don't know exactly what it means. Here's the new G7 from Panasonic.
Look, we know you take all your photos on your mobile device, but you need to cut that right out right now, okay? Because there are lots of incredible cameras out there to take great photos of your family and loved ones with. And we're taking a look at a new camera today called the Panasonic G7. And this does take really, really nice photographs, but I think the really big deal with this camera is its video.
Well, right, because you can take 4K video here. You can also take 4K photos, and that's the big seller here with the Lumix G7. It is the 4K, because you and I have our Fujifilm cameras.
Yep. Well, I like the photos that I've been taking better on my Fuji cameras, and I think it has more to do with the filters that it uses, the film effects. It tries to kind of harken back to the old days of Fujifilm 35mm stuff that you would roll into cameras.
Right.
And I like the qualities that I get, the skin tones and the light and all that stuff looks really nice.
It's true.
It's not that you can't get fantastic looking photos on the G7, and you know, as evidenced here, you can take beautiful shots of scenery and of people, and it's got some really fantastic focusing. And in fact, I think the focusing in this is a little bit stronger than it is on the Fuji cams that I've looked at so far in terms of being quick to the punch and getting right there and tracking things a little bit quicker. The X-T10, though, does have pretty solid autofocusing as well.
For sure, yeah. Focusing is huge.
I can't handle the video on the Fuji cameras, and they've got to get that up to speed. This is what's so exciting about the G7. And functionally, the other thing that I really like about this is its swivel screen on the back. It makes it way easier to be able to lift up a camera into crowd shots or go low. And this is one of those mirrorless cameras, and it's got interchangeable lenses. It's kind of going for that sweet spot, that sort of portability, but not the expense or the heft of the DSLRs that are out there, but you still get some really fantastic image quality.
That's true, for sure. Yeah. It's just I don't know, you're comparing it to a DSLR, which is fine. We don't have the mirrors here, which is the seller for this camera, but it still kind of looks like a DSLR camera.
It's not tiny.
No, the way the body is shaped, I do like the grip on the handle. I really do like that, but it is made and it's there for you to buy those bigger lenses, so it's going to end up looking and feeling more like a DSLR.
The other thing that I don't like about it is it feels very plasticky, especially coming off of the metal components that we've seen on the Fuji stuff. And it's not a great looking camera. It's a great performing camera. You're going to get some really solid images off of the thing. I think the real sweet selling feature, and if this is really important to you, is to get into the video on this thing.
I do like the touchscreen functionality, and it's pretty simple to find the things that you're looking for, but still it's not simple enough. We just need to make that next step. So we'll get there with the next one, maybe the G8.
What are you giving the Lumix G7?
Ooh, this is a pricey mama. It's getting a 7.
It's getting an 8 from me.
Great review, guys. And for the record, Victor Lucas, that's another camera that I won't be buying because the camera on my phone works just fine.
Okay, all right, settle down now. All right, blow dart. Gave you a blow dart.
No, it didn't work, Vic.
NHL 16 is imminent, and I got the chance to catch up with Sean Ramjag Singh to get all the details. The Rammer talking about NHL, as he often does on this show. Your playable goalies in online play, so 6 against 6. You've got a much stronger online team play kind of component there. You can have a couple 4 players against 4 players. One of the cool things that I saw just visually is now we've got mascots running up and down there. Tell us about building that into the experience.
The NHL's pushing mascots pretty hard. They debuted at the All-Star game last year in Columbus, and for us, it's just continuing to build out the environment, make the arenas as authentic as possible. You're going to see smoke come from jumbotrons. Depending on where you're playing, you're going to see fire in Calgary. You're going to see the Tesla coil in Tampa Bay. So really taking our arenas to the next level. And the mascots are just part of the NHL, part of the experience when you go to a game. And we're not going to put a camera around the mascot to show you have mascots in the game. You're going to be taking a face off. You see the mascot come run down, camera into the glass. So really just secondary movement in the arena.
That's awesome. And you guys have this partnership going on with NBC, and you've got a whole graphics package and working with them in a live action capacity again. Tell us about trying to fit that into the gameplay experience.
Yeah, NBC has been a fantastic partner for us, and as they update their graphics, they're sending them over to us, and we're really working closely with them to get their chance and get their commentary and get some of the arena sounds and things like that. So it's been a great partnership. The new broadcast graphics going to be in the game, and we're year 2 with Doc, Eddie, and Ray Ferraro as well. So lots more story-driven content. Just really trying to replicate what you see on TV.
One of the things that Scott and Marissa and I are always talking about with NHL is that it has become more and more for the purists, for the diehards out there. But I sense that with NHL 16, you're trying to bring everybody back into the fold a little bit and sort of train them into the game and give them more sort of visual indicators.
Yeah, we always said that hockey is the perfect sport for a video game. You're always involved in the play. It's fast-paced, it's hard-hitting, there's no out of bounds. So for us, it's how do we allow people to get to the fun fast? Maybe people that aren't hockey fans, when they pick up your game, teach them the controls. So we have a new on-ice visualization that'll teach you the hints of how to play the game, teach you the basic control, teach you when to pass the puck, when to shoot the puck, how to aim, so that whether you're a novice user or an experienced user, you're always learning new things about the game.
So it hasn't just been us that has been complaining that it's just getting too diehard and too purist then.
Yeah, and I think if you look across the sports as a whole, you're going to see all of us kind of moving that way because we want everyone to be able to pick up our games and enjoy it. And we understand that our games do get more and more complex.
And I mean, that must be an incredible challenge for you guys because you're balancing the needs of the hardcore, but you also need to just make it fun and accessible for anybody, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we want everyone to pick up our game and have a fun experience, whether you're a novice user or an experienced user. So it's all about bringing the fun back.
What's your favorite new sort of addition or something that you guys were relieved that you could bring back into the game this year? But what's your favorite new thing that's back or a brand new thing that you've got in the game?
My favorite thing this year is the EA Sports Hockey League being back. Our core fans want it. We said we were committed to bringing it back, and we have. And we work closely with our fans to understand what they want in the EA Sports Hockey League experience. And they told us 3 things from the outset. They said they want to play with user-created characters. They want to play with Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin. They want to be able to have an even playing field, so it's skill-based gaming. So their skills on the controller and their ability to play with their teammates will dominate and win more often than not, and also more customization for their characters. So we're bringing back all 3 of those elements of the EA Sports Hockey League. It's really, really exciting. We have games going on in the office right now, and they're really fun. We got some core community guys come in and play the game. They play for 48 hours straight over a 2-day period. So it's really, really exciting, and I can't wait. The feedback's been phenomenal so far from our fans since we just released our feature set.
Great interview, and for the record, I haven't played that game yet, but all the early reports, very promising so far. EA is delivering this year.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. Stick around. When we come back, we've got Timbo, the badass elephant.
Welcome back to EP Daily. I used to have a nickname around the old EP offices. It was Timbo. No, I don't understand why that was my nickname. Anyway, Sega got wind of this and they decided to make a game called Timbo, the Badass Elephant. Here's Jose and Ben with the review.
Ben and I have decided to come down to a nice, secluded area of this amazing castle to discuss one game that should be seen by all eyes, and that game is Timbo, the Badass Elephant.
You've been wanting to say that title for like weeks now. As much as I want to like this character, he's a very cool looking character too. He looks like Rambo.
Yeah, well, that's Timbo, Rambo.
Oh my God! Right now. I got it. I figured it out. Unfortunately, unlike Rambo, I don't know if Timbo's quite as badass as his name implies. He's got some pretty cool moves. He can charge, he can like smash through big barriers, and you do a lot of that. Well, that sounds...
Crush everything in front of him.
Okay, it sounds badass, but he also falls all the time.
Well, yeah, because he's an elephant.
That's not badass.
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to fall through. If you're trying to fall through...
He falls into bottomless pits.
Pops up to the face!
No, he doesn't do that. He falls into like thin air all the time, which I have a bit of a problem with. The control here is not as good as I wanted it to be.
That's my main gripe with the game, is the fact that the control in a platformer especially needs to be tight. It has to be tight. It was so frustrating sometimes when I'm trying to put a combo together and I'm trying to attack a lot of guys and crush things, even though it really doesn't matter if you combo them or whatever, you're not getting any more points. It's just like I want to look badass when I'm doing this, and I wasn't really getting that feel a lot of the time.
It feels overly sensitive. Like sometimes you'll just jump in the air.
Just wants a hug.
Yeah, no, you'll jump in the air. That's nice. That felt really nice. But you just jump in the air and you just kind of want to, go down directly straight down. But you go at an angle and you're off in the middle of a bottomless pit again. So I found a lot of problems with the control. Also, I think the game sets itself up, at least initially, the first couple levels, seem like it's going to be a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of game. It's very fast. You're kind of charging through these buildings. You're smashing these enemies. And it has that kind of feverish, just forward momentum. You don't really even control it half the time because you're bouncing off something into the background. You're smashing into things, and it's really cool. And you're like, I'm totally on board. This is totally Sonic the Hedgehog. After like the second level, it all slows down.
Literally, that's it. The second level in, you're just like, wait, what? What happened?
Timbo hits the badass brakes.
I gotta collect all the peanuts because I'm gonna need all the peanut butter because you're gonna die a lot.
It gets really hard, and you have to slow everything down. You have to go a lot more methodical when you're making these jumps because you don't know what's gonna be on the other side of it. The enemies start getting really hard with their shots. And another problem here is that the levels are really long.
My third level in, it took me 16 minutes to beat it. I was like, 16 minutes?
That's too long for a platform game. These are supposed to be short, punchy levels, especially because you have to replay them over and over again to unlock more levels. I really just lost steam playing this game. I just started running out of interest because a lot of it was repetitive, and again, this control just wasn't as spot on as it should be. And it's a shame because I think this is a beautiful game. I mean, the graphics are spectacular. It's really well drawn.
The little adjectives that pop up when you're doing things, like...
It's super cute. I mean, it's very cool and stylish.
Super badass. It's not cute.
No, that's the thing. It's badass because it's so hard and it drives you crazy, but it's actually a really cute, colorful,
badass,
peppy, all right, and badass looking video game. We have to give it some scores, Jose. What are you going to give it?
I'm giving Timbo, the Badass Elephant, a 6.5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a decidedly less badass 6 out of 10.
Thanks, boys. And by the way, Sega, when you're sending the royalty check, make it out to Scott Timbo, Jones. And listen, up next, we've got the Twitter question of the day after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Electric Playground. It's time for our Twitter question of the day. This one's from Caleb Ladouceur. His handle is @SkateXDDD. Do you think we can be expecting a Skate 4 anytime soon? He asked this a little while ago, and then he asked us again, so he's very excited about Skate 4 coming.
Yes, because I really want this to happen. I put out a campaign on Twitter. Not a lot of people supporting this campaign of mine. I'm trying to start a petition for it, but there are a lot of people out there that are really excited and really want to Skate 4, especially with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 coming out.
And the new machines.
Yeah, so I could Skate, honestly, well, Skate 2, I think, was the best out of the bunch, and so if we can have a new Skate 4 that's more like Skate 2, but just even better, I mean, get Rob Dyrdek involved as well, I'm really stoked about this idea.
Maybe the Tony Hawk thing will start to revitalize skateboarding video games. I think there were so many of them that people got a little tired, but there are amazing sequels, like we talked about Halo Wars 2 and you know, Mirror's Edge and stuff like that. So smaller selling games, if they've got enough of a fan fervor, enough of a voice out there, they do come back.
I do feel like Skate 4 has enough of a fan fervor, and I think EA really needs to do this. Maybe they already are and they're keeping it secret, I don't know, but that would be really cool if they were.
Great franchise, great question. If you want to ask us a question or get caught up on full episodes, hit our website up. It's epn.tv.
We got more coming for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including behind-the-scenes look at Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now.
Ilya Kuryakin in Our Man from U.N.C.L.E. is a classic KGB spy. He grew up in the system, grew up in the Soviet Union. His lifelong goal has always been to be an operative for the KGB, and now he has it, and he has risen through the ranks, and he's become their top operative. He's very by the books. He's very much a calculating, cold spy.
We have no choice but to work together to infiltrate this organization. We'll leave you two to get acquainted.